What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fanatics Eye. Throughout this entire NFL season, there have been way too many games that have been decided by referees making too many, horrific calls or just blatantly missing very obvious penalties. On Saturday, Lions versus Cowboys, that game was decided because a ref forgot that Taylor Decker, number 68 for the Detroit Lions, checked in with him as an eligible receiver. As a result of that, the Lions' game-winning two-point conversion was called back and they lost the game. In the play, the ball is hiked, Taylor Decker pauses for a couple seconds, then he goes out for a pass in the end zone, Goff throws it to him, he catches it, it's good. They take a 21-20 lead with 23 seconds left in the game, and the refs called it back because Taylor Decker didn't check in as an eligible receiver. As a lineman, you have to check in as an eligible receiver. I get that. But watch this. You're telling me this isn't a play that throughout the entire week and even the entire season wasn't pounded through their heads, especially the part where Decker has to check in with the refs as an eligible receiver? Clearly, that was the check because you can clearly see Decker is checking in right now. What else is he doing talking to the ref? Why is he over there? Why is the ref nodding? Okay? You think he's just checking in, making chit chat, asking how the kids are doing? No, he's checking in as an eligible receiver because that play requires him to go out for a pass. I'm not discrediting the game the Cowboys had, especially the game CeeDee Lamb had, okay? I mean, we're talking 13 receptions for 227 yards and a touchdown. That is some serious stuff right there, okay? Great receiving job by CeeDee Lamb. He was getting open all night long. He was giving Cam Sutton the hardest time of his life on Saturday, okay? He had a great game. And the defense played very well against a pretty electrifying, one of the best offenses in football. They shut down to just 21 points. Not only that, though, they picked Jared Goff off, who is one of the most efficient and makes less mistakes than probably any other quarterback in football. They picked him off twice in that game. So bravo to that defense. The team played very well. But the Lions should have won that game. Let's be honest, okay? They played an even better game than Dak and the Cowboys did, okay? I mean, we're talking about a defense everyone was worried had too many flaws in it to go out and beat this Dak Prescott-led Cowboys offense. That Lions defense held the Cowboys to more than 20 less points than the Cowboys' average score at home. They held them to 20 points total. They average, I think it's 43 points they average at home. They held them to 20. Not only did they hold them to minimal points, which is beyond impressive to say the least. As a whole, the defense played amazing. But that man, Aidan Hutchinson, had a field day, okay? He was out of this world. He was everywhere in the Cowboys' backfield. He lived in the Cowboys' backfield on Saturday night, okay? We're talking 5 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks in one game, okay? He terrorized Tyron Smith, okay? We're talking about an offensive line as a whole, the Cowboys' offensive line, who is not the same without Tyron Smith. And what did Aidan Hutchinson do? He tore him apart. He was making insane moves. He would go outside for several moves, and then he'd make a spin on the inside or a little hezzy and go inside. And oh my goodness, it was beautiful to watch. If you like watching defensive ends, go rewatch that Cowboys-Lions game. Aidan Hutchinson put on an edge rushing clinic. And most importantly, as a team, the Cowboys ran the ball 21 times for a grand total of 61 yards on the ground on 21 carries. That is averaging 2.9 yards a carry. A big chunk of those yards came off of one run. One 18-yard run by Tony Pollard. And without those 18 yards, Pollard ran for a whopping 31 yards on 15 carries. That's averaging 2 yards a carry. And as a team, they averaged 2.9 yards a carry, including that 18-yard run by Tony Pollard. But the biggest point in this game was when the refs called back Taylor Decker's 2-point conversion reception that would have won the Lions the game, okay? Had Decker not actually checked in, we would not be having this conversation. It would be a totally different story, okay? And at this point, I'm pretty sure all of the fans, me included, are sick of the refs deciding the outcome of games, not because of good calls. They're deciding games because of blatantly missed obvious penalties or just super ticky-tacky holding calls and pass interference calls. I mean, if it's late in the game and the receiver and the cornerback are both throwing hands with each other, they're both fighting with each other, don't call a pass interference. Okay, they're both shoving each other. Okay, let the outcome just be what it's gonna be at that point. No more of these ticky-tacky late game penalties that are changing the outcome of the game. If it's an actual penalty, like the one against Kadarius Toney earlier this season in the Chiefs game that everyone was so upset about, even though he was very obviously offsides. But those aren't the kinds of calls that are determining most of the games. When people say the refs are determining the games, the calls are very lopsided. My solution is that the NFL just needs to clean house. Bring in some fresh meat, if you would. Train up some young, tough guys to call the game right. Obviously, no one is going to call the game right 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen. But it can't be happening. You can't be making these kinds of mistakes every single week in several games. You just can't, okay? It makes less people want to watch football because of it. It makes it less fun to watch. The players are getting more and more angry, and the coaches even. It's getting way out of hand. My solution, clean house. Get all these old refs out of here who are obviously biased in several directions. Less mistakes will be made if we do that. I can guarantee that. If they were to clean house, bring in some new guys, train them up. Don't bring in some guys coaching college football because college football is just as bad or worse. Okay, they have terrible refs down there. New people, recruit new people in this offseason. Clean house, bring in some fresh guys, some young, tough guys who will call the game right. Train them to call the game right from the start. No, none of these little loopholes and confusing lines in the rule books. None of that. Okay, just straightforward. Teach them to call the game right. That's my solution. But for now, I mean, those mistakes are being made way too often, and it's very clear. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next video. Peace out.